We live. Chat, let me know if we're live.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome.
What's up?
Welcome. For those who don't know, we have Chad Focus. You may know him from all different perspectives. I just learned how crystallized his marketing information is. I've studied marketing from Frank Kern, Dan Kennedy,
Crazy.
all the top, Jay Abrahams and all them. And when I hear you
Yes.
speak, I'm like, oh, he sees the other side that people don't see, which is
Facts,
what it
man.
really
I
takes.
work with those guys, man. We train those guys. So it's like it's wild, man, for you to be like speaking some of those names. We're gonna have fun today, bro. We're gonna take you behind the scenes of like some stuff we never knew about.
Oh, I
So
love that.
yeah,
I,
man.
I love
Salute you,
that.
man. Salute you on your platform, my brother.
Oh, say it one more time.
No, I said salute you on your
Oh, salute.
platform,
Oh,
man.
thank you, thank you, thank you. We got Chad Focus here. I'm actually excited. Rarely do I get excited about guests. I've had mentors on, I've had groundbreaking industry folks on here, but it's something about, again, your perspective and your depth. You go in
Yeah,
deep with what you're talking about, and regardless of if people agree with what you have to say or disagree, the fact that we
facts.
can fully understand your perspective and you articulate it so well—that's what I respect about you. And
Appreciate you.
do you have you? I think you mentioned in an interview you have a 9-year-old son. Is it?
My son is 11,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, man, my son is 11, man. My daughter is 14, and my other child I adopted is 22, man. So I'm blessed, man. I'm a
Wow.
young old man, busy.
No, I love that. I have respect for any fathers on this planet. Like any father. Did you have the chance to see the childbirth?
Yo, bro, yeah, man. I was actually in the room, so it was like I said, man, probably the best moment of my life. I think when you have a kid, man, that's like the moment that you know, like your purpose, right? So I got my son is a junior, bro, and everything that I see right and wrong with me, I try to correct with him, and I just try to be there for my guy. So he's the blessing, bro, to keep me going, man. That's my reason why, busy.
Oh, I love that. Truly, because it takes a true leader, a true warrior to really fight for his family and defend his family. Like people who don't have
Fact.
kids may not understand how sacred of a bond that is.
Thanks,
And
man. Fact. You're right.
man, you're blessed. I love that. So I didn't even know you had other children. Shout out to them. But
Yeah,
first, I want
man.
to ask. I want to ask. You mentioned Baltimore a lot and coming out of Baltimore. Can you just give us backstory about Baltimore and how it is and like
Yeah.
your environment coming up?
Hey, listen, man. So, like I said, you've seen some of the documentaries. I think the dope part for when I did Vice TV, busy, I was able to bring them to like the different neighborhoods I grew up in. So born and raised, man, Baltimore City, Maryland, man. Started off there, man. My elementary years, right? My mom is a nurse, man. She's working at Sinai Hospital. She was there over 30 years, bro. So mom's held it down, man. Amazing young lady, took care of the family. Eventually, she got married to my stepfather, man. We moved out to a county, man, an area called Randallstown. Now, the difference from like the city and the county, man, is like night and day, right? Because it's so much to get into the city, man. Like I said, Baltimore is riddled with drugs, violence, corruption. Like it's a lot to overcome. And what I appreciated about Moms, bro, is like she wanted us to get a different environment. You understand what I'm saying? She wanted to kind of take us out of a situation where it wasn't safe for you to just walk to school every day, right? It was so much different stuff that you could get into. And when we moved out to the county, man, she really put me in the piano, bro, extracurricular activities, man, science, chess, basketball. So I was really well rounded coming up. You understand what I'm saying? Busy. I seen a lot. My pops, man, always been in my life, man. My parents got divorced, bro, when I was in elementary school. The side that he brings to it, man, is he's an entrepreneur, bro. He's been in all types of construction businesses and health businesses, and like he really understands the grind, bro. So you got the street acumen, and then my stepfather, man, he went to college, he went to VCU, so I got the perspective of like the blue collar family, the entrepreneur, and then also the college perspective, man. You put all of that in a pot, bro, stir it up, you get shared focus, man. So extremely blessed upbringing, man. I love my family, bro, and you've seen what I've been through, bro. The family never wavered. They stood by me. And that's the beautiful thing about family. And you got to separate the friends from the family, the associates from the partners. And like, y'all got an amazing family. I love everybody. For those that continue to support, much love.
Oh man, you said something that just triggered me. It resonated so deeply, which is man, that word friends.
Facts.
Have you ever seen Love Island? This is a tangent, but have you ever seen Love Island?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm tuned in.
Because you ever notice how the enemies are right next to the guys that they're looking at their girl? Like if they're going after the same girl, they're always acting like they're friends, and then they
Man,
snake them.
listen, even for me, bro, like I said, getting into the industry, bro, it was like you can have people on payroll that's waiting for you to fall off so they can jump to the next ship, right? You got guys that are like competitors and you like build relationships with them because you guys are both pushing the same initiatives. And a lot of times, man, you know how this is. The people closest to you, bro, are some of the ones you got to watch the most because a lot of people are envious of the position. And envy and jealousy and entitlement are things that can destroy certain bonds and relationships. And what I learned, man, going through what I went through over these last 4 or 5 years, bro, is that not everybody that is in your corner, bro, should be in your circle. And not everybody got your best interests at heart. And you got to go through some things, bro, for you to see exactly how people feel about you, right? And a lot of times we don't face certain adversities. Man, what I went through, bro, that type of turmoil, man, everybody showed their true colors. That's the blessing and the curse, right? To find out who really love you and got you back, and then to also find out who don't love you and who don't get your back. That's a sobering feeling.
Man, and just, when you tell your story, it's heartbreaking because as a father, I'm like, I can't even imagine being
Yeah,
remotely taken away from my child. So that's why I have so
facts.
much empathy. It's like, man, how could they try to destroy you like that? So speaking of, what's your driving motivation for what you do?
I tell you this, a busy is legacy, man. Right? So think about this, bro. Me and you understand marketing, man. I came up with a brand, it's focus, right? I'm still baffled that nobody else crept up on this a long time ago, right? So one of the key words in the world, one of the words that everybody is using, everybody talking about stay focused and focus this, man, and I'm focused, man. And so when I came out with that setup and I was like, this is gonna be the brand, this is what we going for, like that's the blessing I get to pass down to my son, right? So Chad Focus Jr., that's a positive name, right? You know what? So many other guys got Murder This and Lil Killer and Big Bobby Shot Mark and like, nah, bro, it's focusing the brand, right? And I built Focus Music University. I got my own, institution, my own platform, bro, right? And to be able to have students, man, and people that you build as a community and they grow with you, right? This is something I passed down to my kid, bro, right? Being able to set up his trust fund and having an LLC that generates passive income and learning all the mistakes I made prior to, and now to have something I can build for my kid to figure out what he wants to do next. It's about options, right? So my daughter, she signed to my label. That's one of my first artists. And then my other child, man, she's in a cheerleading. My son plays ball. I just want him to have options to figure out what he wants to do. You want to go to college, bro? You want to start your own tech company, bro? You want to create the next Roblox, or you want to come over here, bro, and take and teach people what focus you? So right now, busy, man. I'm grinding, bro. I'm actually working on licensing some of my content to some different HBCUs, bro. So it's like, you know how it is, man. We in the education space, man. We in a digital world. My overhead is $150 a month, bro, for a platform that's generating six figures. Like, it's a beyond blessing, bro.
Yeah,
Beyond blessed.
I love that because you're living it and I live it as well. And I want people to see the commonalities, regardless of perspective and the angle that we take. Is that,
Yep.
look, when we go against the traditional pathway, we have to forge that pathway. But
Facts.
the beautiful part is that you have equity. Like you said, $150 a month. I use Thinkific, and the business is doing six something figures a year. Whatever it
Facts.
is, and that's the beautiful thing. And regardless of how we teach, that's the beautiful part. Now think about Tory
Yep.
Lanez. How he remember when he sold 1 million NFTs in a minute.
Facts. Facts. Facts.
And my story is what happened quickly after that. The whole situation went
Right.
down. It's because
His
we go ahead.
No, no, no. Hey, look, bro. A lot, like I said, man. I do the Vice TV thing, right? And Michael K. Williams, very close friend of mine, right? So he's got this controversy where everybody know my good friend, he had the overdose, the fentanyl overdose from the heroin. The guys just got indicted and sentenced. So many people are like, man, the stories and what he was doing with his programming on Vice TV, he was highlighting a lot of black markets. He was bringing attention to a lot of corruption that's going on from the corporate to street level and how people approach the same industries. And some guys are punished and some guys get a slap on the wrist, right? Think about what Young Thug is dealing with a Rico versus Donald Trump, right? Getting processed and out in 15 minutes. We looking at nepotism, and some people are addressing that, and some people acting like it's not happening. And with Tory Lane's situation, bro, the NFT, me and you busy are sitting in a situation where people are going to ask and want to know, like, yo, how does Chad Focus go and chart on Billboard? Well, guys, I got the analytics and the data, right? I know that it might take 1,000 downloads for me to go top 100. Me and Busy got a community that we can release a single, we can send out an email blast, and we can have 1,000 people, 2,000 people go download our record, right? We could create and exchange value, right? Like Busy can say, look, I'm gonna give you guys a beat loop or a beat pack, go support my new single. So that single he sells for $40, he could give it away for $1 to everybody on this email list. Chad Focus can do a webinar where I usually charge $300, $400, and I say, yo, go cop my single right now. The ebook is free, the webinar is free, the seminar is yours. So we got that leverage now, bro, by having and building our own platforms that people don't understand how we can utilize that, bro, how we can streamline efforts and make things happen, bro. We can move mountains now, my guy.
Wow, I love that, and I'm going to dig into the. So this is interesting because we're going to dig deeper into online business building, so you guys can have the keys as well. I try to teach folks, but they don't listen to
Yeah.
the message. I want
No.
to ask you, when was your back against the wall moment where, you felt like there was no way to escape and you just had to move forward?
Oh man. Yo, I took 75 kids with me, man, at BET Awards 2018, busy. And I was trying to build my own industry, man. I had program directors, DJs, hosts, other artists, man, celebrities. Like I was really looking at it from an independent standpoint, like yo, we can have something of our own. I felt that Stockholm syndrome moment that scared the hell out of me, where guys that I thought wanted to be free and wanted to go create something, they were looking at what the pushback would be for them if they really took independence 100% and never looked back. And for me, I thought people that were with me were really with me when they were along for the ride, just hoping to see this shit crash. Because sometimes people need validation that they got to go back to the master. And I'm not going to get too in deep in it. We got Field and we got House. And I just watched an interview, bro, with Rich Paul and Gilbert Arenas, and he's talking about the Field versus the House. I didn't get in this, bro, to do anything other than highlight what independence could mean and ownership could mean for us, and to know that there are many more people that are comfortable with being a part of the system, a part of the matrix, instead of coming out, bro, and building their own. That was the moment where my back was against the wall because I realized I was a lot more alone than I ever thought I was. There's not really a lot of busy beats. There's not a lot of shared focuses. So we're a lot more alone than we realize. And we're putting ourselves out there, and it's very, very risky, bro. It's also rewarding, but this what comes with the territory. And that's what I realized, like, damn, bro, I might be against the system a lot more alone than I was, bro. I thought I had some reinforcements. So going out there, bro, and realizing how a lot of things work, man, in the industry, and thinking that I was going to change certain things, that was my back against the wall moment because I knew I had to come home and regroup. And then shortly after that, bro, I started to deal with a lot of my legal issues, man. And it was like I said, bro, it was a different turbulent last 4 or 5 years.
Mm. Yeah, and I want to say I have empathy just on a human level because again, I can never imagine any father being separated from their children. So that
Facts,
just that alone, I'm against that on all degrees. Um,
facts.
but I want to ask, did you ever have a mentor as far as someone who could guide you to a desired outcome, like somebody who
I,
showed you a pathway?
I put it like this, man. The biggest props, like I say, I give it to my parents, man. Like I said, my father was giving me the tools, man, as far as being an entrepreneur, the hard knocks, bro, the ups and downs of like starting your own business, making it work, failing, succeeding. My stepfather, bro, as far as going and seeking information, bro, being a guy that doesn't just take things face value. And my mom for just being, like I said, the rock of the family. As far as a mentor industry wise, right? This is gonna be funny. I paid all of my mentors that I wanted the education from. So if we talking about the industry, I paid Olivia Harris, I paid a Troy Marshall. I want to understand radio, publishing, marketing. I paid Tuma Basa. I want to understand playlisting. I want to know exactly how this infrastructure works. I paid Shaheen Reed and Pete August. I want to understand how PR works. And one of the best decisions I ever made was I spent about 15 grand with Billy Jean as marketing. Young black dude, one of the top guys in marketing space that me and you do, right? Bigger than the Grant Cardones and the Frank Kerns. He's actually their mentor. And I needed to get close enough to a guy that I seen similarities in to see his infrastructure. So Billy brings me out to San Diego, busy. And guys, like I said, shout out to my guy, Billy Jean is marketing. I see his infrastructure from the people that he hires. I see what it looks like as far as culture. I see what he's built with his own team, how customer service work, what the back end looks like. And I realized, bro, that he was running his business and not letting his business run him. And I just needed to be around that, right? Because I was creating my own entity and my own infrastructure, and I was doing certain things in the day to day that didn't make sense, right? So us as bosses, we got to figure out how to take ourselves outside of the business so we can work on that. And Billy Jean is marketing. Just being around that brother, you know what I'm saying? The value, bro, was unbelievable. I paid that $15,000 over again, hand on fist, bro, just to kind of get that experience. And you already know, bro, experience is the teacher.
Right? He was doing ads that look like movies, like a 007 ad and all this stuff. It's creative, creative.
He did the Wolf of Wall Street, right? And he killed it. And seeing him do what he did showed me like, okay, this is what I'm gonna. I already was in the marketing space, but I never seen nobody take the content like he did and target all of the artists and entertainers, and the way that he put together the targeting was what was genius to me. So now when Chad Focus does a music video and you guys don't see it on BET or academics, or you don't hear it on the radio, and you like, how do you become a millionaire? It's because my skill set, bro. My Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube advertising, my targeting is bonkers. And it might not be for you, but I understand exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I put out a music video a while ago to show people they could do it too. And
Yeah,
I ended up putting it on another channel. It had like 1 million views. My channel had less,
facts,
but still, it's like they don't understand marketing. And
facts, facts.
I want to ask though, leaving Baltimore, kind of going back a step, working through your story so
Yeah,
that we can understand more, is the moment you had to leave Baltimore and go on a journey, because you mentioned going out to LA, was it for BT weekend, or
yeah,
was
man. Yep.
so did you end up like leaving Baltimore as far as like mentally, maybe not physically living wise, but mentally, did you kind of move out of that
Yeah.
space?
You know what it was? Busy. I always travel, man. I always travel, bro. So I started off, bro. Like I said, I got into the industry. My cousin is his name is Choice, man. He's out here publishing music, and he's got sync licensing deals with Power Empire, and he's working a co-publishing deal, and he's getting a check, but I think that it should be more. So I'm like, yo, we got to go educate ourselves, because where we from in Baltimore, bro, one, we don't got no record labels. A lot of people are in position that really don't know things as far as the inner workings of the business, and nobody knows marketing. This is like a fact, right? Because we would have top tier artists. We got amazing talent. I go to the radio station, I'm doing advertising and marketing, I'm buying ad spots, and then these guys have no concept of like, yo, how we going to scale up what we're doing? And so I joined Vertigo, DigiWax, MP3 Wax. These are DJ pools, guys, like your coalitions and core DJs. I'm joining DJ pools to get my records out there, right? So I can get it in the hands of people outside of my immediate market. And then I end up in Cali, and like I said, I'm willing to pay for a consultation. And then Troy Marshall and these guys will let me know how they broke records like Drum and Lil Yachty, and how he put together the Broccoli campaign, and he's working on this with YG, and how these guys got situations with DJ Mustard. So I'm starting to understand, like, okay, I got to network and move in different areas. And realizing that, bro, it put me in a position where I said, look, I'm gonna go on a promo tour, and I'm gonna touch Miami, and I'm gonna touch other markets. I'm gonna go to Dallas, Chicago, Atlanta. And I started to put in my footwork, bro, boots to the ground, meeting the right guys, right? Meeting the right producers, the DJs, the radio people, and building relationships that still last to this day. And that is what the framework you don't usually see where you're from in here in Baltimore, right? You're from East Side, you stay over East Side. You're from West Side, you stay over on West Side. You in the county, you pretty much don't intermingle, bro. One, because of territorial issues, but also because of your safety and the mindset that you have. So you gotta, bro, unlearn and relearn exactly how to operate and how to maneuver. And I also wanted my guys, bro, to see something different, right? Putting your homies on that first plane, right? And taking them in and out of town is game changer. And I played AU ball, Busy. I played basketball. My pop started my AU team, bro. All of my guys I grew up with, man, we extremely talented. We banded together, and my father was one of the first guys that put us on a bus, man, put us on a plane, put us on a limo, and took us around the world. That experience, bro, changes your life, bro. You understand what
Wow.
I'm saying? You got to see other people's terrains, bro. Learn how to survive, learn how to maneuver. You start over here in the United States, bro. We ended up in Colombia, Dominican Republic, Belize. Like, I took my record all across the world, bro, and I put it physically in the hands of the DJs. I went out there and mingled with the people. So networking is your net worth, bro. And also you got to bring something to the table, because it got to be a reciprocal exchange. To this day, the guys know I got the information. So it's not always about how can I pay somebody for this or that. How can we make an equal exchange? And that was the blessing I learned, bro, from traveling.
No, I love that. You're saying exactly what it is. That's why I just respect you so much. You articulate exactly how it is to be an entrepreneur.
Facts.
And funny enough, I have a parallel is that I grew up with Richard Hamilton. He's like a #1 NBA All Star at one point, and I got
Facts.
to see that lifestyle like very closely. My mom dated his father, and I just saw the behind the
Yo,
scenes. So I didn't realize when I saw Richard Hamilton pull up in his first car, which was like a Mercedes, champagne color
facts.
Mercedes, like later in life, my first car that I bought was like the same car. But looking back in time, I didn't realize that was the structure that I was given from
Facts.
seeing different things. So I appreciate you showing other people that.
That's
Um,
crazy, bro. You and Rip, yo. Rip the
Rip,
GOAT, baby.
shout out to Rip Hamilton. Yeah, oh man, he's in Miami now, I think, and Florida. I want to ask.
When you talk to Rip, I'm telling him that because like I said, I'm gonna tell you what's so funny. I remember to this day Michael Jordan and Rip playing together, the Washington Wizards. Michael Jordan hit like a game winner or had like a 50-point game, and it's him and Rip, yo, out here like running down the court. Like, yo, Rip played with MJ, bro. He won a title. He played with Chauncey Billups. Like, people don't give enough credit to how hard he worked, bro. And he created that artwork and perfected what Reggie Miller was. Like, you and I know what repetition and work looks like. You talking about Rip Hamilton, bro. You coming from some stock, bro. Salute to
Uh,
you, my guy.
Oh no, I'm just seeing how important that is. Like hearing your story, seeing how important that was to me.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
and you mentioned this before, but I'm going in a pathway so that I can understand mentally is your allies and enemies that you had to discover. Now, who did you? I
Okay.
mean, you don't have to give names if you don't want to, but who were the people that you thought were like right here and maybe kind of flipped or turned into enemies, or just people who were in the way along the way?
I, I put it like this, right? So I don't have no enemies because there's been, I put it like this, like I said, I'm from Baltimore, guys. Ain't been no bloodshed, right? Um, I was incarcerated. Like that's real situations you deal with. But as far as the industry, you got to be very, very careful about the people, like I said, that you'll call your friends or your bros. All right, that's got to be a title that's earned. I'll tell you this, like my brother-in-law is my producer, man. A kid named Jay Fetty, right? Another producer of mine that did the Dance with Me track is Jay Oliver, right? We had relationships, man, as kids. So I built relationships busy with people that got into the music industry that I also had friendships and relationships with prior to. Played basketball my entire life. I got into the music at 24 years old. I've been doing this for a decade, but I already had a whole nother life before I got into the game. So I reached out to who I knew that was already doing it at certain levels. And I wanted to, one, support their movement because I seen the work they had been putting in. And I built relationships prior to getting into the industry that I thought like, yo, would, you know, help fast track what we are trying to do. Coming into, like I said, a culture where we at in Baltimore, bro, it's so many different pieces you need. You don't realize that you need, people that work at the radio or certain hosts, bro. You don't know that you need this manager, or if you're getting into advertising space, you need an associate director at a Clear Channel, iHeart. You gotta always keep it in your mind, guys, that it's business and don't take things personal. All right. As far as my campaign, right? I got a record with a T-Pain, right? And me and him have a understanding now. But for you artists, man, there's something called the brown paper bag money, right? You are building relationships with these guys, and if you take any shortcuts, you can't expect certain results, right? I expected because I did the paperwork and the contracts that it was going to be certified and done well. Get your entertainment lawyer, guys, when you're making deals, right? Don't take any shortcuts, right? You think you're making personal relationships with people, that's where the loophole comes in. Do it the right way and the right way the first time. All right. As far as people like, yo, Chad Focus got arrested, nobody knew who he was. I had a lot of top tier industry people that were working for me, guys. But what I should have done is I should have made a relationship with a label that then would have had relationships with those guys because you also need the reinforcement of the infrastructure if you want to do it on a major level, right? If you independently grab somebody that's working at 300 Entertainment or Rock Nation and you throw them some bread to put you on a playlist or to put you on a show, it might not go the same way that it goes for people that are on their roster, no matter what kind of money that you're spending. You understand what I'm saying? When you're going out here, guys, and you collaborating and working with the DJs, right? You might want to spend money with a DJ to get a record spin. All right. But then you don't show up and he never plays your record again. Figure out, yo, who's your guy and who really rocks with you so you can vibe out, bro, and start to build out those long-term relationships. So that trial and error for me, Busy, is the one thing I want to stress to people. And like I said, man, I got some great associates, bro. And then I also got some things that you had to learn. And like I said, everybody is not your friend, and also realize, bro, it's a business, and try not to stay emotional in the aspect and get your insurance up, guys. That's the most important thing I can tell you. If you throw in events and stuff like that, make sure you insuring your events. All right. If you're doing your advertising and marketing, make sure you got business and marketing and advertisement. You got your own LLC, make sure you got, insurance, man, for your business to protect yourself. Get a great accountant, man. Get a great entertainment attorney that you can trust. And like, let's make it happen, man. Let's do it the right way.
Yeah, and you have some great stories that we're about to get into. I just wanted to nail down the story part so that people could rewind it and really see why you have a perspective that you have. But yeah, you have some crazy stories about, throwing live events. That's going to be monstrous when we get there. I definitely have that in
Yeah.
the list here. And I wrote notes,
Yeah, man.
everybody in the chat, so we can stay on target.
There we go.
So I'll skip the rest of the story questions because I don't want to harp on just the backstory. But I guess the main thing was just how you had the mindset that you had. Now moving into the music industry stuff. Okay, here's the first kind of big thing that you shocked the world with, which was, and this is why I respect you actually, regardless of your perspective or why you do what you do or whatever. But when
Facts.
you finally told the world, here's what happens behind the scenes. Can you explain just what stream farms are and how some labels are known to, or I mean, not known to do it, but it's kind of like what do they call it, black hat marketing of the music industry?
All right, cool. So look, and Busy did an amazing job explaining this on Exposed with Busy Beats Part One, guys. Go check it out, man.
Thank you.
So this is how it is, bro. In the corporate industry, right? This is where streaming farms started off with. They started off with search engine manipulation. Guys, I worked for millionaires and billionaires, and You got to spend a lot of money on pay-per-click advertising. Advertising costs a lot of money. All right. People also respond and react to advertising completely different than organic finds or organic approaches to the game. So what you guys think is organic is literally just an approach. It's not psychologically what these people think it is. Like they just woke up and something happened. It is the funnel for you finding a product, a service, or learning about something. So in the corporate world, we build streaming farms which build backlinks. All right. Backlinks, guys, are votes that help a website rank higher in the search engine. All right, for certain keywords. Keywords are what we go and bid on to kind of bring traffic to our websites, our platforms. So if you got a YouTube video or you got a website or a blog, I was working for a company called Agora Financial, guys. They had a budget where we would spend money on, say, penny stocks to buy, right? They might be spending $5 for clicks or $5 per visit, where you can come to me and I can get you that same exact visit for 3 cents. All right. Now, not only I'm getting you that visit for 3 cents because I got these streaming farms and I can do this automation and build up these, artificial rankings for these web pages. But what happens, guys, is that the more leverage you have using these streaming farms, you can then create an organic or a static positioning in the search engines. So for the companies I was working for, guys, they had to spend money to stay at the top of the search engines. You can give Chad $20,000 one time and you'll have a position organically for that same keyword permanently. All right. So just understand that you could be spending $20,000 a month or $20,000 one time. That's the difference. Those streaming farms I built with young guys that I started to work with on a platform called Fiverr.com. All right. I was one of the first like 100 people that had a Fiverr.com account. You guys might know it as this outsourcing site, spend $5. That's really like the Black Hat Kingdom. All right. There's Black Hat World, there's Fiverr.com, there's different forums that will teach you how to use this stuff. The smartest guys are on these platforms, right? The young Indian brothers and sisters, the Pakistan kids, the Philippine outsourcers. When we get with big corporations, I found out that they had huge companies busy that would call themselves marketing corporations. You pay them $1 million and then they outsource it to China and Philippines for 1% of the actual budget. So what I did is that I started to find those same exact workers that these companies were outsourcing to, and I just paid them what they were worth and some. I'm like, look, bro, I don't like how these guys are treating you. I'm gonna come and treat you better. I want you guys to teach me how to build and how to use these systems. And I'm gonna also take care of you and your families. So I started building streaming farms, man, 15 years ago in Bangladesh, bro, in Pakistan. And these were the tools I utilized, bro, to help big corporations show up in the search engines. All right. Another thing you want to know is that you can use streaming farms to negatively impact your competitors. So you can spam other competitor websites so they don't show up in the search engine. All right. Fast track to us going into the music industry. You got the streaming world, right? So before that, it was the analog where the record labels would go and buy all the CDs from the mom and pop stores. They would manipulate what we call the UPC codes and IRSC codes, guys, which is what's tracked in Nielsen and Billboard to raise the artist's profile, right? You got to inflate their stats so that the perception is they're bigger than they are. Well, now streaming comes into play, and they're like, look, we'll give these artists a percentage of a penny for every stream. So they're deciding behind the scenes how much these streams are worth. But they're also manipulating because they're having conversations and meetings that we're not privy to. Nobody knows that it's a young black dude like myself that's building these algorithms and softwares, and they are basically learning from the campaigns that I'm building. So there's people going on platforms and forums and stuff like that busy, and they like, look, I seen this website, moneymorning.com, and look at how they're putting together these backlinks and setups and search engines. So they're applying my algorithms and my formulas. And then when we come to the music industry, I realized that Spotify, Apple Music, and Tidal are all based off and built off of manipulation. Only the record labels and major labels have won the money to invest in these systems that aren't yet proven. And they are really only the guys who have the engineers who are setting this up. I'm just a young dude, bro, that's putting it together myself in the crib, just like you, bro. Starting off with a couple cell phones, then a couple laptops. Then I got automation software, VPNs, and then I'm outsourcing that, bro, to other countries. And these guys are just duplicating my setup, right? So you got softwares, guys, that can build up accounts on these platforms, premium free. People think that I'm the one that kind of came up with this. I just perfected it and I had to do it cost efficiently. The record label's been doing this for their artists because They have to inflate their perception. They got to inflate their popularity because that's a part of the game. That's also a part of marketing. But look at it like this: if Spotify has 10 million real of subscribers to their platform, and they can inflate it and make it look like they got another 10 million, that's 20 million. Their shareholders invest based off of statistics, guys. All right, the advertisers invest based off of the perception of the traffic that they can get. If you can manipulate those clicks and manipulate the traffic and manipulate the streams, now you got a monster of a system. All right. And that's just how the platforms work. That's how advertising works, right? Me and Busy do this for social media ads. We can use bots and streaming farms to send fake traffic to our competitors' ad to go ahead and boost up what the pay per click is going to cost. Like you guys gonna have to backtrack this interview to like kind of see some of the crazy stuff that we're talking about, but that's the game, Busy. The game is inflation, bro. I'm an inflation mastermind. I understand exactly what these guys are doing and how they do it and why they do it. And I went and utilize these same exact tactics for myself, right? If I can get on the Spotify's top 200 or I can become a top 50 artist on SoundCloud, now I'll get engineered into those playlists, right? I'll get into those algorithmic playlists. So I'm basically engineering myself into a position that the major labels had been monopolizing and gatekeeping and keeping away from independent artists. That's what forces you to go sign a major label deal. So when people might feel a certain type of way about me, it's only nepotism, and it's only because it's a young black guy, jeweled up, fly, rich, and can speak it and articulate it and do it bigger and better than those guys. And I'm cool. So all the homies in the industry see my interviews. They call me. They don't got to go through the middleman. They can do this, man, independently. I'll teach them how to do their masters, their ownership. I help them build the farms. I help them do it organically, inorganically, however they want to get it done. I can make a phone call to Spotify, get you on a playlist, or I could go ahead and build 500 playlists to get you on an algorithmic setup. So whatever they need done, Busy, our job is to provide that, bro, and to get it done independently. And that's exactly what it is, man.
No, I love how you perfectly articulated, because I was screaming this to my audience, which is, look, you guys take your whole audience to Spotify, which means they have 100 new accounts. I'm like, did you guys get paid the cost per lead on that? Did you get paid the $5 that they would have to pay the ads to get that customer? No.
Fact.
I'm like, that's where the money's being made. I'm glad you broke that. I didn't even think if Spotify shows all this growth, they can go to the stockholders and say, give us more money.
Think about it. The stockholders, bro, they don't have no clue what me and you talking about, Busy. They're not watching these interviews, bro. They're not in the trenches as far as this technology and what's going on, right? And people that look like I'm not trying to make it a black and white thing, but young guys like myself and you, bro, we into the entertainment, into the sports. We not into the intricacies, yo, the business and the setups and the infrastructure. So when they created, bro, a Spotify and they built this off of what LimeWire and Napster used to be, which were the blueprints, they were like, how can we perfect this to make sure that we won? So when somebody like a Soldier Boy becomes the number one artist in the world, guys will crank that because of how he's manipulating LimeWire and he's creating different titles for his MP3 based off of other artists' names. So he's manipulating what we call SEO and search engine optimization because he understands on page and titles and all this other crazy stuff technically. Soldier Boy is ranting and going bonkers on everybody online because he knows he's the blueprint. He knows he's a genius and nobody wants to give him his flowers, so he has to act out. I understand that he's basically letting you know, like, bro, I'm the blueprint, right? We love Drake, but when he say hopped about the bed, turn my swag on, like, think about Drake's first single. It's a Soldier Boy reference. And man, you know, Busy, for those guys that are copywriting and publishing, Soldier gets a check from that. Soldier gets a check from Beyonce or somebody else, bro, using some of his taglines and cadences and phrases. Wow. So he's really, bro, the blueprint of the transition from MySpace to LimeWire to what we see today with your TikToks. Yo, bro, we got to give a lot more credit to a kid like Soldier Boy, bro, that was on the cusp of all of this. And now today, think about it. When I became top 200 Spotify, this is when we're looking at Uzi Verts and Drakes and Future. Chad Focus is doing 1.1 million streams in a day, guys. That's $4,000. I own 100% of that. That money comes directly to me. All right, that's if I do that every day for the month, that's 120 grand plus, and the label gets none of that. And I get all of the positioning and the visibility of being up there with some of the top artists in the world. And I don't got to go out in these streets, bro, and pay for security and do all these shows and be in these. I'm sitting at home, bro. I was out here doing this remote COVID thing for a long time, Busy. So
Right.
now we look at what these platforms and these systems are. It was never meant for guys like me and you, bro, to be able to kind of, like I said, decode the matrix, as you call it. That's why gatekeeping is what it is, bro. We can't just get on radio. So the things that the industry can still monopolize, they gatekeep, right? And what happens to independent artists is that they tell you guys not to do something that they're doing, right? And there's a reason for that, because a lot of you can't afford to not be on Spotify platform. But if you approach the game like Will Russell, and you're like, look, I'm gonna build my own platform. I'm gonna do what Nipsey did. I'm gonna go direct to the consumer. Here's my PayPal, right? Here's my Stripe account. Here's my Venmo. Here's my Cash App. Send the money directly to me to pay for my art. A lot of you guys aren't really business people. They really aren't entrepreneurs. You gotta be honest with yourself. If you can't get your supporter, your clients, your customers to come and pay you directly to go to your website, like they go to Busy Beats Works and they go to chadfocus.com and they send that money directly to us, and then we file it with our QuickBooks. Like, this is, we going on a tangent, but you understand what I'm saying. A
Yeah.
lot of people are not built to go direct to the consumer. They depend on these platforms. If you guys would learn marketing, right, and learn how to build a community, you would never worry about what was going on with Spotify. That would just be icing on the cake. So I'm not worried about Spotify, Apple Music title. I've been out here purchasing catalog on Royalty Exchange and Songvest, bro, to go ahead and monopolize the game I want to. So instead of becoming an enemy with these guys, Busy, I became their partners. I became a shareholder, right? I might own 1% of a Drake record or 0.0003% of a Lil Wayne record or a TLC record. But guess what? I'm a shareholder, even at the smallest degree of it. So now we partners, bro. I'm partners with your Universal, your Atlantics, your Interscopes, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Man, you say it's so funny. You're saying literally everything. What's up, Jay Cactus? Another top YouTuber. It would be dope to see you on his channel too. Jay Cactus, you got to have that conversation with Chad.
Let's get it, Jake. What's up, man?
He's another top FL producer who teaches a lot of dope producers. And you said a lot, but what it comes down to is I have a picture on my Twitter about the system of the music industry, and I go, doesn't God just want to have connection with the child? Like a father wants to go through the child. Why should the father have to go through this person to go through another person, and then the child? It doesn't make sense. And
Yep.
that's what the traditional music industry is. So I said, if we're not partnering with them, then you're their slave. You're at the bottom of a pyramid. And that's why I appreciate your perspective, is because you're showing people, they may be playing baseball, but you're trying to play soccer. And this is a whole different game. Not
Yeah,
you,
and
but
we
I
being
mean,
transparent. I mean, but Busy, you also being transparent, bro. You understand? Like, it's not that you don't want to have your record on Billboard, Busy. Like, you work hard. You're a great producer. It's not that you don't want to have a situation where you got a record with your Young Thugs and your Drakes and your Meek Mills, but it got to also make sense. And you've created the leverage to be able to negotiate terms that most people could never.
oh,
That's what you're doing. You're creating leverage. You'll go on your platform. You almost got 1 million subscribers. I don't need you guys to put together any systems for me, bro. I got royalties that come in. I got passive income. I can set up my own advertising. I can release a record independently with some of my favorite artists. What they can't do is they can't independently release a record with you. And that's the conversation we're not having. Who has to sign off on some of the guys that we think are the most popular and the most popping? They got to send that to a person who sends it to a person who sends it to a person. Like, when Pusha T say, yo, you signed to a nigga, you signed to a nigga who signed to a, yo, that's real life, bro. Right? And if you got $1,000, bro, and you got to break that down and you only get 8% of the net profit of a campaign, you can be doing 100 million streams, bro, and only coming home, bro, with a couple $1,000s. When you see Snoop Dogg on a platform and he's arguing with the guys that are in the audience and nobody looks like me, Busy, or Snoop, and he's like, yo, I did 1 billion streams. Yo, how that's not $1 million? Well, you know what I'm doing? I'm raising my hand in the back like, yo, Uncle Snoop. That means that you only own 26% of the net profit of whatever that billion streams was and the marketing dollars it took to get those billion streams. That's it. That's how we end that conversation. They don't got to go no back and forth. Yo, big bro, you own 20%, 26% of the net profit of whatever it took to make those billion streams. All right, I appreciate it, folks. Next time, let's do it independently. Let's
yeah.
get it done the right way.
We were actually, me and my mentor were on the line with Snoop, trying to get Snoop on the line through a lot of different folks, and just to create that ownership in the Web3 world. And Jay Cactus, by the way, he said 100%, man, that would be sick. So yeah, I'll introduce you to Jay Cactus behind the scenes, but you definitely gotta link up with him because he has another top platform in our space. And yeah, because I want.
I loop you up with new peoples. Like
Oh,
at
awesome.
the company, I loop you in. Yo, look, man, Busy, we looped in, bro. You do. Hey, look, bro, we looped in and we blessed Busy. Like I said, the Brand Man Network changed people's lives. The way the inbox looks right now, bro, I had to hire 4 or 5 assistants, bro. So you looking at it like, damn, bro, I can't even respond to my DMs and shit like that no more. And that's
Oh, wow.
off of one interview that smalled and went into a bunch of shit organically and virally. And now we sitting here, bro, where everybody want to kind of get an understanding of what's going on. Some people willing to go ahead and compensate you for your time. Some people that feel like they're entitled to that information. I got to decipher each and every day who's worth it and who's not.
Right. And even though you have a different perspective and I might not take all the pathways that you did, the way that you're explaining it now is, okay, I have to explain for the audience real quick is the way Google ads and YouTube ads and Facebook ads work is it's a bidding process. So if they know me and Chad are competitors, they'll have us bid it all the way up to $10 a click. But what if we combined and became partners, for example, or friends and said, why are we paying them when we could just talk to each other's audience directly? Now we take out the middleman called Facebook and then we're going direct. And so what these companies do is they charge up that bid. And you were basically saying back in the day, you would say instead of charging it all the way up to $10, I can get it to you for $2,
Yep.
which is the same thing Jay-Z did with Samsung. If you really break down the deal when he distributed his album.
Directly, right? And went platinum in one day, or what, 5 minutes, right? And so even this too, Busy, I was employed by companies to see what Busy was spending on the ad, and for me to use a streaming farm to send what we call bots to your actual ad, right? So you would get a bunch of clicks and no conversions, and you'd be like, "Yo, I just spent $1,000, bro." Yo, Busy, the game get dirty, bro, behind the scenes, man. So,
Right.
all right, put it like this: you know about takedowns and about fake streams and like what they do to independent artists, specifically DistroKid. Yeah, I said it. DistroKid is owned by Spotify. All right, Spotify was owned by Sony. Guys, let's talk about conflict of interest that nobody's speaking about. What's the number one platform that's marketed and utilized, bro, by independent artists? It's DistroKid. Guys, that don't seem like a come on, man. And so people call me all the time. They like, yo, Focus, man, I want to run a campaign with you. If you got distro, don't call my phone. You can't hit me up because I won't even run an organic campaign for you. Because if you got a big budget and you put together numbers that don't make sense for an independent artist, they'll hit you with abnormal streaming fraud, not fake streams. Yo, this is abnormal because you're independent. So I've gotten disclaimers and statements from Spotify where records were taken down. People like, yo, Focus, how you know it's 3,000 streams or less? Because I got the intel and I know the guys on the phone that I'll call and say, what's the streamline look like, bro? What's the detection look like? It's 3,000 to 10,000 streams, yo, per record for an independent artist. If you're a major artist, bro, you don't have those same restrictions. So that's exactly where I came up with the formula from, guys. It's all trial and error. And that's exactly how the game works. If Busy is one of the top producers and I see him doing numbers on Spotify, I can go send a fake million streams to his campaign tomorrow. They'll remove him, and there's nothing that we can do. So the ecosystem is flawed. There's no checks and balances. So what if you start getting guys like myself that want to come out here and do diddly things in the industry, right? I'm just a good dude, bro, from good stock. But companies call me all the time, bro, to get their competitors out of there. And I'll never, ever, ever do that again, bro. That's why I had to get out of corporate America because they don't have no morals. They don't have no values. And that's exactly the type of like system you don't want to be a part of. Corporate more diddly than the streets, guys.
No, I agree because there's another content creator speaking on my name, and he didn't realize what he incited was people trying to DDoS my website, hack or like email it, like all this crazy stuff from something he said. And
Yep.
here's something I said to a detractor of mine. I said, what's the difference between murder and then going to war? It's the same exact thing. Why do we justify it when it's war, but it's still, killing somebody? And that's where I had to gain empathy as a human. But I
Yeah, man.
understand too, people in this, with different mindsets see stuff as war. So it's not like I'm going to take this person out. It's look, that's my competitor and we're at war, so to speak. So it's a different mindset. And yeah,
Right.
you just have so much depth. Like again, I haven't had a conversation where somebody has this much depth. I would even consult. I don't know your hourly rate. I know you have a different perspective, but it's like even I'm learning a tremendous amount. I just want to thank you. And I thank Brandman
Uh,
Sean too,
yeah.
for allowing your story to be heard because that's what gave me the confidence to have this
I
convo.
told him, I told Brandman, like I said, when my story first came out, Brandman did a show. He said, yo, the $4 million shit that nobody's talking about with Chad Focus. Like, yo, like I said, I got trashed online. And what nobody realized that when you go through a Fed case, bro, my safety and not only the best outcome was more important than me coming out and balancing the narrative, right? I had different priorities. So when I went silent, that was one, I had a gag order. And two, bro, I had shit to take care of, like trying to get me the best type of like situation possible. All right. I got a case where all of the young white guys that then put me under the bus, they got immunity. I got people trying to go ahead and, do things to my family. I got no co-defendants, guys. I'm going to prison by myself fighting against a corporation. So I had to be very tactical in how I strategically came back and did what I had to do as far as who I am today. Brandman Sean, Charlemagne the God, Donkey Today, all that stuff I went through was because one, nobody was asking questions that I thought responsible journalists should ask. And that's why I told Sean, I said, I'm gonna reach out to you because as a brother, yo, we got to get on the platform and one had his discourse. So I can kind of give you insight on why things were the way that you've seen they were, right? If you're looking at the media and the propaganda, Why not say this kid spent $4 million and nobody knows who he was? Why not say, yo, this kid spent $4 million and he's worth 40 million? Why not tell you the exact truth? Why not say, yo, he spent this amount of money and he created $2 billion companies? Why not say the company is getting investigated for an FTC case? Then 3 weeks later, Chad Focus gets indicted for stealing from a company that's stealing from his clients. Nobody is having that conversation when you're running with a narrative that just printed and syndicated because me and you know how the internet works, busy. So I'm like, damn, bro, social media extremely irresponsible. I'm like, come on, say cheese, come on, Vlad TV, come on, academics. So you know what it's like when I gotta come and circle back around. So when you see me touch those platforms and give those guys the insight, like it's going to be game changing. And so Brandman Sean let me come and be like, look, guys, this is how an independent artist can make the amount of money that they make, yo, on a platform like Spotify. I don't approach the game like an artist. I approach the game like an independent record label. I acquire catalog, I acquire publishing, and I do the marketing and promotion. Chad Focus has one album, guys. It's gone 6-time Billboard Plex, right? I know exactly how to do that space. I'm out of that game because being an independent artist, bro, it's a lot of shit you got to overcome. I'd rather be an independent record label. I'd rather go into the bank and be like, look at my catalog, bro. I need $250,000. That's a different conversation. I don't need no labels for no advance. My family's in a great position. I got investments, right? Like I said, me and Busy, we got our own platforms and passive income. So I'm not in that position any longer, guys. I'm behind the scenes making moves. And if I feel like stepping out and making a record with the right guys and the right type of situation one day, I will do so again.
Hmm. And yeah, I mean, your story is just so impeccable because you're showing that you have this phoenix energy where, we could take a rock, smash it to dust, but we are the mind or the spirit that could reshape that dust back into whatever shape we want. And this overcome spirit comes from the creator, I think, because I think we all chose our life and we knew the challenges we were going to have and we knew we could overcome them. It's we like the challenge. So, I mean, we're here for you, whatever it takes. And I want to ask what's your philosophy on who actually runs the music business? And the reason I'm asking this is because people like to clip stuff. Who runs the music business?
I put it like this, bro. See, hey, look, hey, Busy. I'm media trained because I put in the work myself, right? And I don't want to have a Kanye moment. What I'll say is that the industry was set up in a certain way, and it has been grandfathered with an infrastructure that they want to own your intellectual property, they want to own your likeness, but it also comes from them building up a brand. So it's just like what me and you are doing as a platform. If we built this up, we're going to be extremely stingy, right? And we're going to be extremely stern about our negotiations. So if you went from a nobody, they came and they picked you up from whatever hood you were in. They gave you the name, they trademarked it, gave you the website, they built up the audience. This is what they're doing for the artist. So I see it two different. I see both sides. What I realize is that guys that came before us should be doing a better job of one educating. There should be some type of union of guys who have done it successfully and unsuccessfully and be like, look, bro, this is the attorney that you can trust. This is the accountant that you can trust. These are some of the investments I've made that make sense. Like what you're doing, bro, you're paying it forward, right? You're fast tracking somebody's education to be able to do what you do, bro,
Oh,
right?
thank you.
Why not more education for the people? So everybody's wrong. I'm not going to say that the label owners and the presidents, if we continue to sign these deals, right, and we continue to be jealous of one another, bro, and not come together and not educate one another, bro, it's so much competition. And I'm specifically speaking about what we see in our hip hop and R&B culture, right? Because you don't see people that are in pop and country coming and speaking about bad contracts and what their advance looks like and who's getting paid this and that, and they don't got beefs. You understand what I'm saying? Like Leanne Rhymes ain't beefing with Carrie Underwood. This ain't what's going on. You understand me? Like, yo, bro, I want to see records with Megan Thee Stallion, Ice Spice, Glorilla, Nicki Minaj, Sexy Red. I want to see a tour with all of them at the same time. I want to see Jay-Z, Fifth, Dre, Puff on tour at one time, bro. I spend $20,000 for that front row ticket. So the guys like me and yourself, look at the young dudes that's coming up now, bro. They making lots more money, but look at how many young dudes I had to go sit down like I had to, bro. And are still going through the legal issues, right? Who's sitting them down and be like, let's have a conversation? And look at the guys that we done had before us, bro, that then went bankrupt and that have lost their publishing or not done this, not done that. We need those guys doing as many seminars and YouTube videos and interviews as Busy, Beats, and Chad Focus. Like they should be the brand man networks, right? And the Busy, Beats
Yeah.
and Dorian Group 82s and JR McKees, right? Like it's just some guys that I'm naming because I see what we do and how we are building up what we're doing. But there's also guys that have that information, bro, that I would respect it if they wouldn't gatekeep because we do need y'all. And some of us are humble enough to know that we don't know what we don't know. And I
True.
would, one, like you say, compensate them for that information if it was accessible and they were available. And that's really the key to me, bro. I love what I just seen with InvestFest, right? And now we're all coming to a place where we got these kids with this platform with Earn Your Leisure, and they're like, bro, this is how you set up your personal assets, your business assets. This is what a trust is. I come home, bro, from prison, and I've been speaking about trust and screaming this out for so long, but not having a huge platform till I went through what I went through. And now everybody's talking about having a trust, irrevocable, revocable, how to protect your assets, how to successfully pass stuff down to your children. This is what Grant Cardone and the Gary Vee's been speaking about forever. And finally, we have people that are stepping up, to the mantle and getting this done. So that's what it really is, Busy man. I just want to see more guys, bro, take the responsibility of educating. And I love to see that Puff has just given away the publishing to his artists, right? To Maces and 112s and all those guys. Whether it was too late or not, I appreciate also seeing Mace and Cameron coming back together, bro, and putting their issues to the side and showing us how they can evolve, bro, and make mature decisions. I love seeing Jim Jones going to Rock Nation and him and Jay putting together and putting aside a beef. I love seeing Nas and Jay together. Like I want to see 50 and Ja Rule do a verses. Like that's just the guy I am. That's just where I'm at, bro. And I know it's better for the culture, even if it might not be better for the individual. But that's just how I see things.
Yeah, I say, would you rather have 100% of 100,000 or 20% of 20 million? Like, yeah,
There
we're
you go.
taking smaller cut, but it's a bigger pie when we work together. And I think what you've illustrated is that they created a narrative to keep us at war. To keep the people at the bottom of a pyramid there, you have to have them constantly divided. How do you do
Yeah.
that? You sow seeds of division between them, which is warlike tactics. And that's where I think these narratives come from. I want to thank you for explaining that so well. And can you kind of tap into, before we get into your stories about the live event throwing and everything? How are you on time? I just realized, no, we're at the hour almost. I
Oh
still have
no,
so
we
many
good. We
questions.
should. I mean, today was the day for Busy and Focus, man. I set aside this day. Like I said, I've been looking forward to it for a minute, bro. And like I said, I want to shout out my man, Nigel, man, because I got a kid, bro, that love me so much, bro. That anytime something is mentioned about Focus, good, bad, or indifferent, he literally sends me an entire interview, and like we'll check it out together and we'll watch it. And so I had seen, like I said, the one that you did for the expose the industry part 1, 2, and 3. I watched them, bro. I watched it like 6 times. I'm like, yo, bro, it's top. He
Well,
talking
thank you.
that game. And like you said, bro, you never heard nobody speak the way I spoke and articulate about the industry I'm coming from. I never seen nobody that wasn't there at an Agora, bro, or at, a Wall Street company like that speak the way that you speak about it. That take a lot of education. You
Oh,
understand
thank
what I'm
you.
saying? So I lived it, bro, in real life. I built those systems, bro. I taught myself, and to see how you didn't pick this up, I'm like, yo, Busy to put some time in, bro. I don't know what forms you on or what
Reforms.
kind of coffee you drink. Yeah, man.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's really just I just really appreciate your marketing mind and how you think of business, because this is what's missing. And the scary part is that I had a mastermind with 100 of the top guys in this field, and only six truly had that entrepreneurial DNA, and that scared me a little bit. I was like, wow, there's not many leaders out here, not many entrepreneurs. But I want to ask you this: what are your philosophies about crafting celebrity? Is celebrity crafted? Is it an inorganic thing, or is it an organic thing? Celebrity when it comes to
I
music
think
industry.
100% is manufactured. It's just like any campaign for a product that you don't know about one day and the next day you do. See, people not respecting the fact that celebrity is just it's branded, right? It's if me and you start a clothing line and nobody knows about it today, there's us printing it, manufacturing, infrastructure, website, us giving away some of those clothes. And the day that me and Busy find the correct influencers, that's the game changer, right? But also influences budget, right? Even being able to print out clothes, bro, and give them to people, bro, you're going to go into the negative or into the red as far as like your expenses. So when we look at like what celebrity becomes, bro, think about Ice Spice, bro. She came out with a dope record. She did her part. She was just playing volleyball at SUNY, right out there in New York City. Um, she does the situation. She gets with 10K projects. She got a dope producer that's got some connections. She does much. the campaign that they put together, as far as like what you're looking at as World Star Hip Hop, I reverse engineer what's going on. So you can go to World Star, guys. This the strategy, guys, ain't public, but the access is, right. So I'm giving you the game. You go to worldstar.com, get together $50,000 and be on what, all of their platforms, the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, featured on that website. You got 50 bands, go make that happen. The way that they executed her influencer marketing campaign is genius, bro. When you take $50,000, you take a 30 to 60-second snippet of something viral that she says, whether it's the video or whether it's her screaming munch or however you put that together, it could be a dance or challenge, and you go ahead and create the influence, bro. That's what TikTok is genius about, bro. That's what Instagram is genius about. If anybody has seen what I've done as far as being Chad focused, I was literally homeless 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm making six figures a month, bro, since I left the halfway house because we got a 60-second clip from an appearance on Vice TV that I felt like they should have done without me. They should have took that 60-second clip, put it on all these different platforms and made it make sense. Instead, I came home, bro, and I used my business acumen and my resources. I took that 60-second clip that was going viral on YouTube and I syndicated it all around the country. You know, I just made sure I got the different platforms. So everything is manufactured, bro. And we gotta have that transparent conversation. And you gotta also be okay with it, bro. The guys that are in the NBA don't become NBA stars, bro, without the engine that is the marketing of the NBA. NFL guys become a household name. There's no Patrick Mahomes before the NFL, right? There's no Lamar Jackson before the NFL. Yeah, bro, if you know he was at Louisville, he was a Heisman Trophy runner, but there's certain things that got to get done, right? You grew up with Rip. If you know UConn, then you know, right? If you know he goes to Detroit Pistons and wins a championship, and then he cuts his hair and goes to the Bulls. I mean, to the Wizards. Like, if you know, you know, bro. Not everybody knows what's going on, and it's your responsibility as a brand. What I don't like watching, bro, is how some of these labels have access. They also have the resources. They also have the consultants, and they will let certain artists' numbers not match the celebrity. All right. No hate to Saweetie's campaign, right? I didn't like that rollout for that record and the album's amounts that she has sold. You can come to a guy like me with $10,000, bro. We're gonna be top 10. Like, unacceptable for a major label to have any of their artists drop any projects and for it not to match with the celebrity or the numbers, right? When you got your Instagram and your TikTok, you can be doing promotions, you can be doing organic, inorganic engagement groups. You can go ahead and snowball all three. So what I've learned now, busy, is that I like to run a balanced proportion of everything that I do. All right. You're going to get the organic approach, me posting it, and the guys that usually see my content, hopefully they see it. What you guys got to also know that platforms like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, they're only going to display your content to about 1 to 10% of your audience because they want you to spend money on ads. So if I got 100,000 followers, only 1,000 to 10,000 people are going to see that content unless I go viral. All right, cool. Part two, influencer marketing, having a budget for really dope content and having other people reshare your content, or also building an internal support system. I got a record label. If you rock with Chad Focus, every last one of you better be sharing my post. I posted at 12, at 12:30 noon, same caption, same hashtag, using the repost app. Here's my affiliate link. Part three, yo, I'm gonna go ahead and use a little bit of automation because I understand, yo, what reshares, saves, likes, comments, and views does for algorithms engagement to put me on the explore page. Once I'm on the explore page, it's a wrap. Don't let me do a million views, bro, by 12 noon, because I'm gonna go ahead and pay for that other million views, and we're gonna be doing 2 million by 6 p.m. And that 2 million gonna turn into 4 million. So it's gotta be a setup, bro. And I understand exactly how to set it up and make it make sense in a way that I didn't really care about too busy when I was doing this a decade ago because I got a little sloppy because I was making so much money. If I realized that the perception needed to continue to go ahead and be streamlined as I was building Chad Focus, you would have never seen my Twitter numbers not make sense, my Facebook numbers not make sense, my YouTube numbers not make sense, my Instagram numbers not make sense. If you're not running ads, you're not continuing to build. So if you want to come and play this game, guys, you got to be putting together a monthly budget to continue to build consistently. You can't turn it on and off. And that's the biggest thing I want to let people know. It don't gotta be $1,000 a month. It can be $1 a day as long as you're keeping that engine running.
That's very true. I made the mistake with Facebook ads. I had a winning ad. I spent like 50,000 behind it one time,
Yeah,
and I just read the comments like an idiot, and people were bashing me, and I took it personally, and I turned the winning ad off. I was like, that was the greatest mistake I've ever made.
crazy, man. I've been in affiliate marketing for a while too, busy. So I've never, like I said, bro, I've never got emotional it's just weird, bro. I'm just in a space that I don't get emotional as far as marketing. Even like I said, what I went through, bro, good press, bad press, that shit is all press. You gotta figure a way around it, right? And if you realize at the end of the day, you can turn this internet on and off, bro. So right now, me and you on this call, my phone is on do not disturb. I can turn this phone off, bro, and go enjoy the rest of my day, man, with my kids and my family, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, people gotta realize that too. This internet world is the one that you plug in and plug out. I decide not to run ads in Baltimore because I still like to be able to move and breathe. You understand what I'm saying? I like to still be the normal guy you see at the gas station and at the Merritt Athletic Club playing ball, and I still go to picnics and show love. Like, I don't got no beef. I don't got no animosity. I got love for everybody where I'm from. I pull up on any block if I feel like it, if it's necessary. I run ads on all the territories outside of here because those are the places that the people are familiar with me and where they don't see me at. I don't need to be on radio here in Baltimore. I got 1,000 media-based DJs and program directors that I can send my campaign all across the United States. So I have strategically decided, bro, to just be and exist where I'm from and to be famous and rich and powerful everywhere else.
Man, because what you're saying is, as Dame Dash would say, boss talk. I would love to see you talk to Dame Dash or Earn Your Leisure, all the kind of media guys like that, because what you explained, going back a couple minutes, was distribution and the power of distribution. And when you control your own structure, it's how do you incentivize the next people with you or below you, or however you want to see it, to be incentivized to have equity in what you're doing. Like when you mentioned, if you had a team, for example, and then have them repost and then have their affiliate link, everybody eats in that equation. And so
Yeah.
that's the
And,
power of distribution. Go
and
ahead.
you see who, and, hey, look, bro, and you also see who's valuable to what your movement is, right? So you got people on your team, right? If you got 100 people on your staff, like I used to, bro, I was moving crazy. I didn't make it their responsibility to support. I just assumed that it should be there, and I should have held them accountable. That's what happens. That's different with Chad Focus at 25 guys versus Chad Focus at 35. Just because I had the money, I also didn't have the gusto and also the infrastructure, and sometimes, bro, the mentality to enforce my will because I hired a lot of people that were my friends too, right? So how uncomfortable it is to yell at your friends or to have those difficult conversations with your brother or your cousin. I'm not in that space any longer. If you're here now, guys, and you know what I've been through, yo, it's time to get to work. And so you are holding these people accountable, bro, for their affiliation and for their opportunity to be a part of your movement. So that's why I say, yo, shout out to LaRussell, man. Me and him have exchanged amazing energy in the DMs, bro. And I'm like, look at what this guy does. For one, I think he's a top tier MC. He's performing his records live, right? No track out. He raps, right? He's writing everything. He's giving away ownership and percentages. He's teaching the game while he's building up this platform. He got people singing his words and songs word for word. And guess what? I've never heard him on the radio. So if you want to look at an independent movement and somebody that's about to do 1 million followers and somebody that's a young millionaire putting on his team that's a boss, you don't gotta be Chad Focus, the genius marketer kid that went to Fed prison and knows how to work through all the loopholes. You can just be a talented artist that creates content, bro, and that built a team like LaRussell. So there's so many examples nowadays of how to get it done, bro, that we didn't have this before, right? So if you're a producer, you can watch you, bro. Like, you can watch DJ Payne. Like you said, you can watch the other producer channels. If I wanted to get in production, I would come and I would look at your channel and start from A to Z. The game is different for me. I'd rather grab my guys and do a work for hire, or I'd rather split percentages, right? Because I got a lot of different things I want to get done. And if I'm gonna get into production, it would take me a long time to be the quality of producer that I would think was acceptable for me to go out there and sell the music.
I mean, I love how, again, you just go so articulate. I really respect that about you, because it makes me realize I didn't go as articulate as I could in other conversations I had live. So thank you.
You
But I
bet.
want to say too, to back up what you were saying about the ads thing. For example, people don't understand. Recently, I just put money into YouTube promotion through Google's like tab. It's like a beta tab on
Yeah,
YouTube,
yeah.
and I spent like $800, but they put me in front of 3 million people. It's like why weren't they? Why wasn't my thing in front of them in the first place? But
Facts.
it earned like 15,000 subscribers. So I was like, this is what happens when we just get in front of the right people. But
Yep.
these
And you got
platforms are built.
and like
Go
I
ahead.
said, isn't it crazy, bro, how me and you understand this, right? So we could never look at organic the same. right? Organic for me and you is a budget. Organic for me and you is, all right, I got dope content. I go to Google, YouTube, Facebook, and I put together my budget. That's also how corporations look at it. Everything is a budget. Nothing is just happening. And once we get out that mentality, like I said, it's predominantly us and our culture because we're learning and we're seeing it for the first time. Which for me, yo, I got backlash for being like, yo, he buys his followers, his likes and comments. Nobody said, yo, but he's rich. That was not the narrative. So I was like, yo, if you could do it the way I did it strategically, make it make sense and understand why I'm doing this and what is the purpose and why I brought the streams to get on the algorithmic playlist so that I no longer had to do bots, or why I'm setting this up, or why your favorite artists come and buy services from me all day long from third party services that they don't know I own. You get what I'm saying? Like, yo, busy. I'm also very strategic and tactical. People don't want to come and directly, yo, come and get the sauce from me sometimes. So I built a lot of platforms that people don't know I'm associated with. I got a lot of faceless brands. So, for me, bro, when the Donkey Today happened and I watched Envy speak down on my name, I got love for Envy. I'm a fan of the Breakfast Club. But, bro, you've been putting thousands of dollars in my pocket using my third party website promotion service for the last year. If I'm that type of guy, I just go repost those, as we call, receipts. I'm not that type of guy. I'd rather come and have a conversation with you and say, look, man, I'm a young black guy, bro, in the industry, bro. I'm doing things that are against the grain. And yo, bro, I appreciate you for being one of my clients. You the client of the month. Here's a t-shirt. Here's a hat.
Client of the
Like
month.
I'm also a little bit wild too, bro. I had some fun with it, but I mean that's just the facts, bro. I'm trying to figure out a way to go ahead and attack this at all angles, busy.
Client of the month is hilarious. But yeah, I just love, if ever I speak on anybody, I'm like, I have to have the facts and the data. I don't speak just arbitrarily like that. I think it's a responsibility. But yeah, all business is a vehicle to take $1 and make four, take $1, make 10. It's the same, it's like better than stocks. That's why people make businesses. So that's what
Yep.
business is all about. Doubling the money, tripling the money. I want to ask you about in the music industry, you kind of touched on this before, but quickly, PBNs, were you familiar with those as far as SEO?
Hey, busy. I built the first private blog network in Baltimore.
Oh,
All
wow.
right. So we were talking about how you rank the websites, right? The way you rank a website, say I want to rank first for BusyWorks Beats, and I got chadfocus.com/BusyWorks Beats, and I'm outranking him for his website that he owns. The way I get it done is that I build what's called a private blog network, guys. I build a bunch of different websites that are hosted on different IP addresses. I could be using HostGator or DynaHost or different platforms. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to build a website, and every last one of these websites are going to have content on them, and I'm going to insert a hyperlink that says Busy Works Beats, and I'm going to point it back to my website, chadfocus.com/busyworksbeats. Then I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to try to track and see who has more votes for that specific key phrase. And if I have more votes than even the guy who owns the actual domain, I will rank higher than your website. All right. It's a way to manipulate, bro, your authority in the search engine. And that right there, bro, was what was game changer while I was working at Agora Financial, because we were competing against MSNBC, we were competing against Motley Fool, we were competing against Seeking Alpha, and this company was $1 million company when I came there, bro. And when I left, yo, we were $1 billion company because of this type of manipulation. All right, being able to show up number one in the search engine is a value that is hard to put into words, because you go to the search engine because Google for you is the validation, it's the cosign. So if you organically find something and it's number one in Google, every number one website gets 90% of the traffic that comes for that keyword, guys. All right. And the conversion rates for somebody who feels like they found something organically versus when they see an ad is night and day. It's just night and day. All right. One of my favorite artists, bro, in the world, bro, is Roddy Rich, right? I love what this kid was to the game. But when I tell you, when he hit that algorithm, bro, with that, I remember the day it happened. I'm like, oh, it's over. It's over. He got one, like I said, he has a legendary campaign. I call it campaigns. Ice Spice got a legendary campaign. Man, this run that Sexy Red is on right now, bro, with Pound Town and her on all these platforms. And yo, busy. Salute to the people that's marketing Sexy Red, man. Yo, bro, think about it like this, bro. I get so tired of artists being like, yo, I'm talented. Yo, the industry rigged. Yo, bro, figure out who rigging it. Like, what are we crying about, bro? You was in the streets, you figured out who the plug was, bro. Like, what are we talking about, bro? At the end of the day, man, be resourceful, or you don't deserve to have a spot at this table, bro. Come on, fellas, ladies, whoever working and pressing them buttons, I'm gonna go find whoever pressed that button. Whoever got that Ice Spice button, busy, I'm gonna go find whoever got that Ice Spice button, bro. Whoever got that 6 9 button, I'm gonna go press that 6 9 button. I ain't gonna tell nobody, but I'm gonna go find that button and I'm gonna press it, man. And that's what I salute. I salute the people that's resourceful enough to find the guy who has the button.
That's why I said I respect your perspective because you're helping me think in a whole different way, which is like, okay, that's a different way of looking at it. Wow, thank you. And I learned from I think a Harvard professor. He teaches a lot of top students, and he said he doesn't give their students one book or two books. He gives them three books that have opposing opinions, and he says, look, synthesize your own thoughts. There's no one right way to do anything. So I appreciate you breaking that down. Take your time. I actually got to wipe my nose. My nose is all runny over here. It's
Look,
freezing down here.
this is the book that, like I said, I'm gonna show you something differently that like most guys who you guys know are like rappers, CEOs, executives, whatever you think, hip hop wise. It's not just a prison thing, right? Like I'm not the guy that just went to prison and was like, yo, I'm reading 48 Laws of Power, guys, and I'm so focused. No, man, this was a part of my DNA, bro. I was reading as a kid. You know, I was extremely intelligent, bro, extremely aware. This right here is the book that has changed. Like, this is why I make so much money, guys. It's called The Hook Point, right? So I don't get any money from this guy, right? But if I need to, I'll go write a review and I'll get an Amazon link and I'll teach you guys how to do that too. Maybe I'll just start doing cool stuff like that. Hook point means that me and Busy create content and we got to put together a title that one, bro, is going to get us traffic. Sometimes it can be a little clickbaity. It is what it is. All right. It's just how it comes. When I started to create my content, bro, on Instagram, right? And we even talking about rollouts. If you go look at my Instagram, guys, it's set up like a rollout of an album. All right. I'm taking and repurposing content on my Vice TV episode, and I'm giving you guys the caption that I think is appropriate for what that content represents. So I'm telling you before you click on the actual thumbnail what it's about. If you don't want to see content about how to the Google search engine, don't click on it. You know my number one content is right now the secret formula to becoming famous. All right, everybody want to become famous. My link in my bio is you want to be rich, famous. Yo, click the link in the bio. I'll show you how and tell you what you really want to be. Conversion. All right. The next one is yo, how we scam Ticketmaster for $250,000. Boom. Next one after that, bro, is rapper makes 70K yo with bots. I got 3 videos. Those 3 videos I can run ads on, bro, to the day I die, busy, and never worry about another thing. It's been proven organically what people are searching for. All right. Nobody want to have this conversation. People want to be famous. They want to know how to do these bots. And they also want to know how to make live shows really work. They want to know how to do hard ticket sales to make this make sense. It's 3 topics. When I seen those 3 topics, I went and created Focus Music University because I finally knew, bro, after 10 years, what people wanted from Chad Focus. I finally figured it out. I know exactly what to do on each and every platform. I know how to go ahead and cut up a Busy Works Beats interview with Chad Focus and make it make sense for our audiences. I know who to target. I know who's waiting for it. This is like I say, bro, the game changer for us, bro, because we got so much access, bro, and so much resources and guys like me and yourself that's transparent. They're like, yo, this is what works, bro. And you ain't got no excuse. It's like a workout plan. Like, yo, y'all want to eat what we eating? You see our diet, bro, what time we wake up, bro, what time we work out, what we do for a living, what your religion is. Here you go. And you got a choice. You either do it or don't do it.
Right. And you said it right. It's after heuristics and seeing patterns over time. There's like three buckets people come to me for, which is FL Studio, music theory, and mixing. Everything else is
Yep.
kind of arbitrary. So you have those three buckets too. And
Yep.
you mentioned, that you saw childbirth. And I think once you see childbirth, you go, wow, men will never be in a pain that women were in ever. There's no pain that we could ever complain about. So I said, there's no
Yep.
excuses. And so when you said no excuses, that's what reminded me of, seeing that childbirth. But man, real quick, I have so many notes, so we might have to have a part two. But can you share your story about the live event you threw? I think a little baby and I forget who else was there, but
All right, cool.
also the ticket. The other story about the ticket scalping.
How to set up. All right, so look, man. I sponsored an event, man, with Little Baby and Moneybag Yo. It was a concert. It was a Heartless Summer Tour, man. It was August 2018, and I'll break it down exactly how I got myself in this position. Right, I came home and You know, I started to sponsor nonviolent events here in Baltimore City, man. We lost an amazing artist, man. Little Scooter, man. Rest in peace, man. Great kid, great artist. And we used to have these celebrity tournaments at Morgan State University. And the DJ that I had at the current time, man, he was throwing these events, man. Shout out to kid DJ Flow, man. He was throwing Flow Weekend. And instead of allowing a DTLR or a Shoe City or some of these corporations to sponsor and do something in our community and ask these guys what they could do for us, I said, I'm gonna do this for my hood, man. I'm gonna give away hoverboards, bicycles, scooters. I'm gonna put myself in position. The reason why I was doing that busy is because I need to learn the infrastructure of what it takes to run a successful event and how to monetize it and make it make sense. So that one, it can be profitable, safe, and people can have fun. So I started off, bro, in a charity space, right? Sponsoring events. By the time I got to 2018, bro, it's over like 18 months later, the opportunity presented itself, bro, to one sponsor the actual Little Baby and Moneybag Yo concert and to also be an artist. All right, come and perform. So I had just finished out BET 2018, bro, and I then took 90% of the city's industry with me. And I done met people that was there, and I'm like, yo, I got 7 mansions, 7 Rolls Royce. I was talking like Ray J. I got an indoor basketball court and an outdoor basketball court, right? Yo, come through and rock with Focus. So we had a great time. By this time, bro, I had just finished the record and a remix of Dance With Me with T-Pain and Little Mo. So I'm understanding what I want to do in the industry. I'm trying to put together like a plan. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna bring out Lil Mo. I'm gonna bring out Tammy Rivera. I might fly out T-Pain. Let's get popping. Little Mo and Tammy go into marriage boot camp. So they like, yo, Chad, we can't come through. I'm like, oh, all right. T-Pain asks for an ungodly amount of money. I'm like, yo, bro, that's more money than I'm going to be making. No, not happening, buddy. That's done. I say, yo, what happens at these local concerts, Busy, is that the promoters will overcharge the kids that are trying to come up from the cities. Yo, pay $1,000 to open up, $10,000 to open up. You can go one, two, three, four, five, six. They'll try to make a quick 40, 50 bands off of the guys that are in here independently that all the local kids know their records word for word, bro. How are we making this reciprocal when you want to bring a kid that's lit and because you don't understand the movement and you're not tapped into the streets because you're only a promoter? Nah, Chad Folk is approaching this differently. Yo, listen, man. I want to see all the kids where I'm from win, bro. I'm a fan of Money Jake and YBS Scholar and YG Tech, yo, and Roddy Rex, bro, and T Baby and Tato and I'm trying to see Young Moose. I'm trying to see these guys do their thing and an audience that loves them and make it make sense. And I want to be a part of that. And I want to play my part. We set up the show, and like I said, if you understand the numbers, I'm gonna break this down for you guys. My sponsorship fee was 10 grand. All right. Next thing you know, the venue, bro, was between 30 to $35,000. Moneybag Yo was 40 grand. Little Baby's $30,000. This is the type of money you got to put up. So you got money you got to pay in the front end and then also the back end, guys. This is what the industry is all about. Now we have 4,400 tickets, Busy, and I'm the marketing genius. I got to figure out one, how do we sell out this event? Because everybody always just assumes that you put names on a bill and it sells out. It does not work like that, guys. Because if it did, me and Busy would just throw concerts and hire guys and sit back and collect checks. It doesn't work like that. People just assume it does. So I had to spend money, man, with the actual advertisement of the radio station. We had to do the flyers. We had to do the hard parts of making it visible, billboards, cool stuff like that. And I'm looking at what I had just done a month prior at the Jay-Z and Beyonce's On the World Run Tour, On the Run World Tour 2. I took 50 people with me and I brought 100 tickets. But I had brought the tickets all front row and I was spending like $500, $2,000, $5,000. Like the prices were going all types of crazy. The day I got to the concert, Busy, I had 40 tickets left and I got to sell them for like triple, quadruple of what I originally paid for, which was ridiculous. So I
Wow.
went to the Beyonce's concert, took like everybody, my mom, everybody front row, they screaming, "We love you, B. We love you." We broke even. So everybody got to go sit front row at Beyonce
Oh,
concert. I broke even. When you break even, you realize now, bro, there's a margin. Oh shit, bro, I can do this and be the artist and go capitalize off of events. So I started to actually promote concerts, bro, as a ticket scalper. And this is what I realized, don't automate this with bots and stuff, bro, because it was becoming now an issue. 2016, they created a bots act, so you could get yourself in legal trouble. I didn't even know what I had crept up on. So now we have our concert and all the tickets get released, bro. And I'm sitting there busy and I'm like, yo, I got an unlimited credit card. I got an Amex account. How can I make this make sense and pay back all the money? Like I'm sitting here letting my mind run. The tickets come out, bro. They're between, 40, $50. This is called early bird. This is like the first day, first weekend they come out. I single-handedly, bro, went and bought about 90% of the tickets. And what it does with Ticketmaster is that you can buy 40 to 50 tickets at once. And then you got to continue to do the process over and over again. Right. So I was probably able to spend $2,000 every single time, get 40 tickets, 50 tickets, $2,000, spend $40. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I brought the tickets probably about 100 times, 100 packages of 40. Next thing you know, bro, I got all the tickets. I relisted them tickets for double of what I purchased. So, you know what I'm saying? I done spent this amount of money. Now that I done relisted them. Now I'm giving away tickets and I'm printing out tickets and giving them away in the streets. And like this shit, I'm like Santa Claus. Man, you want to see little baby money bag, yo? For me to make my profit, I then took the most expensive tickets, which were the pit tickets, and they were going for $400, $500. These weren't the ones that were cheap on early bird, and I was putting them on StubHub, bro, for $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. And then I seen exactly what Taylor Swift, Drake, and Beyonce have become to the industry. There's people that will pay any price if it's urgent enough and it's scarce enough for the people that they love, the products that they love. All right. When a PlayStation ain't available on Christmas and you find a dude outside that got them in a brand new box selling it for 3 times that much, you'll pay for it. This is marketing 101, guys. Scarcity and urgency, people will pay whatever to have what they want. That's why the drug world is what it is. We spent $250,000, bro, and I cleared a $500,000 gross, $250,000 cash, bro, net profit. I performed for 10 minutes, 2.5 songs, said the fire marshal cut my set, all types of crazy shit was going on. I was in such of a euphoric space. I could care less. I was angry, happy. I didn't know what to be because I had just figured out how I was going to do this for the rest of my life, bro. I can go ahead and flip concerts. I can be with the biggest artists in the world. I can sponsor events. You can have the promoters get paid. You can have the local artists, man, come and perform in front of a sold out crowd. To see the guys that are famous from your hood, that all the kids know their songs, come out and perform in front of a packed stadium, that's the fulfilling experience for me. You get tired of the guys that you love spending $3,000 to perform for the top tier opening acts and nobody is in the stands. That's unacceptable behavior. That's not an optic that I want to see. Now we the blueprint, busy. Everybody knows that, yo, you can manually go out here and ticket scalp because ticket scalping is not illegal. Buying the tickets is illegal. Chad Focus has taught you how to legally do this, guys. When they release them tickets, stay up all night long, buy groups of the tickets, bro, for the lowest price, relist them for a higher price, go on other places like StubHub to increase the margins 100%, 200%, 500%. And then even slicker than that, busy. I waited to the day of the concert to sell about 1,000 of those tickets because those people are the ones that will spend the most money. They'll stand outside. They'll tear down the gate to get inside of that concert. So when you see Beyonce and you see Taylor Swift and you think about these concerts and these tickets selling 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, there's somebody that will spend $1 million to sit front row and watch Beyonce. It might not be you, but that person's out there and I'm going to find them.
Yeah, I think Taylor Swift cleared almost 1 billion or more on her tour, something crazy. We just had her mixing engineer on, Ken Lewis, and he has 35 billion streams just from like her and BTS alone. It's some crazy numbers. But for those who have objections to what you said, I go think about NFTs. You buy the NFT when it gets minted, you sell it on a secondary marketplace to somebody who wants to buy it for more. Think about this hoodie. This hoodie is not $50. This hoodie was $5 out of China somewhere, or the
Yep.
materials at least. And
Yep.
then we resold it for 50. So aren't we just we're raising the value of those artists by getting them the price they deserve, truly, if you look at it that way.
It's who does it's yo busy, like I keep saying, bro. It's who's doing it, bro. It's this guy is not supposed to be the guy that is being able to master and execute. It's one thing to know, bro. It's another thing to execution, and then to go out there and to perform records. You understand what I'm saying, bro? We're not even talking about the musical space, guys. Like I still had to go out there and take care of my business. I had a 20-piece band, percussion, you guys on the keyboard, drums. I had dancers, choreographers. I had backup dancers. I had featured artists, bro. I had to make sure my entire family got in and out safely, bro. I had security. Like there was moving parts that when you guys see the Focus documentary, you're gonna lose your mind. Like, how does this guy, well, Adderall back then, but how did he get it done? So for me, busy, if you go type in Ticketmaster, ticket scalping, you'll see that they're doing this, guys. How you think that they sold out the Kanye West and Jay-Z and Metallica concerts and why they got issues with the FTC? The corporations is doing it, guys. They manipulating the Drake concert ticket prices and Taylor Swift and Beyonce. Like, they doing this. I need my piece of the pie, right? I gotta figure out how to make this make sense. How y'all mad at me? Just be mad at them. I'm just the small version of Live Nation, all right? Focus Nation. But guys, I didn't create this. And don't be mad at the individual that has to play the game, all right? It's what I have to do, guys, to compete at a top tier level because I'm competing with corporations, and I understand how you feel as a fan, as a consumer. But just like Busy said, if you want to buy a sweatshirt, go to Alibaba, spend the $5, send them the design, get it shipped for 12. Now you can get the $50 hoodie, bro, for $12.99 and appreciate that we gave you a gazillion dollars worth of game because that's also how we making all the money we take care of our family with e-commerce and education. So that's my thing, Busy. I think a lot of times people are looking at the individual and forgetting that it's an infrastructure that we're fighting against. Decoding the matrix is about, yo, guys, if Ticketmaster is doing this, guys, if Interscope, Atlantic, Spotify, Google, if this is how they're approaching the business and we're all consumers, I just decided to stop being a consumer and to be a player in the game. And I don't got no staff or no big building. It's just one young dude, guys, with two cell phones, a laptop, and an HDMI key that I put inside my laptop because I'm blind. That's it.
No, I love that. It's just what I'm realizing is you've mastered arbitrage. You said
Yeah.
instead of paying $20 and making a $10 profit, how do I get it lower and then make all the in between value? I think that's a master of business. I mean, there's people who yield farm right now doing that with stocks and all types of stuff, and they're getting paid top dollar for that type of skill set. And
Right.
I have a
One-
go ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead. One thing I want to say real quick, Busy, right? So, like I told you, we came from the Wall Street world, right? So, if you guys know the story of Martha Stewart, right? She got the insider trading. She had to go do the Fed time, and everybody was like Martha gangster. And the reason why Martha gangster is because the people that gave her the insider information that allowed her to make the money, they also made the money too, and she didn't throw them under the bus. All right, that's why Martha Stewart's a gangster. If you guys don't understand how that worked in her favor, all right. I was working for a Wall Street company, guys. They have things that are called IPOs, all right, initial public offerings. My job was to help them inflate the actual brand notoriety of certain companies that were about to get released because the company I was working for had already had their stocks and shares purchased, all right. Before the company go public, there's guys that have already had vested interest in these companies, guys. So they're buying it at $2 a share. All right, it goes public. My job is to put it everywhere. All right, MSNBC, Seeking Alpha, press release, blah blah blah. We go on social media, Reddit, like all of that's engineered. All right. Dogecoin was engineered, guys. All right. I had 20,000 shares of it, guys, when it was 0.0001 cent. And we ain't even gonna get into those numbers. Why I'm telling you this is because behind the scenes, there's manipulation going on with the corporate infrastructure that now you guys have the intel because you're watching platforms like this, that now you have no choice but to apply it, to accept it, to not be emotional about it, and then to execute. IPOs is what runs the industry, Busy. If I take 1,000 shares and it's worth $2, and then the next day it's worth $100, bro, look at the money I just made on the return. If me and you are purchasing based off of what the IPO presents, right? And the guys that are across the street from us are purchasing it 3 weeks before, me and you just lost out. And guess what we can do? We can then go sell it to the next homie a year later after our $100 a share has gone to $150 a share. And then our friends are like, bro, you making $40 a share. But there's a guy that made $138 per share. And you ain't worried about what he doing. You ain't pocket checking him. You pocket checking me. Cause I'm riding the Mercedes. Yo, he got a Bentley and a plane. So I've learned, bro, to compartmentalize what's going on, to understand what's happening, bro, and to also address myself and my own entitlement and my own insecurity so that I can approach business the right way.
Hmm. Yeah, I just love how you pulled and what I want people to truly understand is that the skill set can be applied to so many industries. That's why I've heard you talk about how you help whether social media creators, whether it's music folks, whether it's a business side of things. This skill set is just consistent. That's why when I first learned this, my first thing was let me prove myself wrong because it does it just only work for me. And then I taught fitness, fashion, film, all the like different industries. Because I wanted to prove to myself that this is like truly something. And what I'm hearing from you is that the skill set translates per industry, and it's a paradigm, it's a way of thinking.
The client base busy is 50% business, 50% music marketing right now, right? Literally, yo, people are purchasing from me, bro, and I don't even have any communication with them. That's when you know, like, God bless, man. And like I say, business wise, when you go viral, and we're in a space like me and you, and I'm going viral for not shooting anybody, for not going back to prison, for not talking about my booty hole brown, like none of that. I'm going viral for giving up the game. So for people to see that, they like, bro, I'm a real estate agent, right? I'm a life coach, bro. I own a fitness and nutrition company. Bro, my clients that come to me just want to have engagement and they understand, yo, this kid got a strategy. And guys, that strategy is advertisement, influence, great content, automation. Combine those four guys, and you got a perfect recipe. You need us to execute it, man. You go to me, you go to Busy, we make it happen.
Oh man, I just appreciate you sharing your side. I literally have a whole 2 page worth of notes, but I think we would have to have a part two of the conversation because my energy's low and I want to give you the right energy that you deserve. Man, I just got to stop and say thank you because one, for sharing your perspective, two,
Yeah,
for educating through stories and through like actual tactics. Three is
yeah,
that I just appreciate somebody truly having depth, articulating super well. And regardless of the perspective, it's like you now gave us another lens to look from. Now I can see from that. If it's a room, for example, I can only see my walls from this point of view, but you showed me how
yeah,
to look that way, so to speak.
yeah.
And I just deeply appreciate that. Wow.
No, man.
Chat Focus gave y'all, what'd you say, $1 million worth of game word,
A
word to give
billion
away?
dollars worth of game, man. Now
$1 billion.
responsible for $2 billion companies, guys. Put some respect on our names, guys.
Gotta love it. We're gonna have a part two again in due time. I just want to say thank you, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
wish
man.
you speedy recovery and peace to your family and everybody.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna just thank you. That's all I gotta say is
No,
thank you.
Busy, man. Much love, man. Like I said, I appreciate you, bro. I tap in with you soon, man. So, like I said, part two, hopefully part three, man. We get it done for you guys, man. Busy Works Beats exposes the industry again.
Thank you, buddy. I'll catch up
All
with
right,
you.
buddy.
Peace.
Peace, bro.
I told y'all today was gonna be superb. Y'all thought I was joking. Today was superb. Again, regardless of the perspective that you take, it's just hearing from a different perspective, hearing how articulate that perspective is, and this just appreciating the commonalities from a different perspective. That's what we took away from today. But again, there's so many questions that I had literally on this notepad that I had that I didn't even get to 1/4 of the questions. So probably the best interview we've ever done, the best conversation that we've ever done with Chad with Chad Focus. Again, infinite respect to him. Wishing you guys well. I'm going to end this video so we could just end it.